Hi, this is Benjamin, founder of Farmagain. So in the recent past, we've been posting a lot of videos mostly focused on how to improve revenue from a farm. And specifically, we have been focusing on coconut farms. The reason? Income from coconut itself isn't great, and all of us know that. One of the best ways to improve income from coconut farms is to go for the most viable intercropping system. And we have also spoken enough about nutmeg. And today, we are in a farm near Anakatti. It's a small village, and this farmer has gone for nutmeg about 8 years back. Actually, there is an interesting story behind this. He wanted to, on one hand, increase revenue, but at the same time, when he thought about intercropping, he was also worried about elephants because Anakatti, a lot of elephants roam around. So he apparently did a lot of studies and found out that the elephants don't eat nutmeg leaves. After thorough study, he decided to go for nutmeg. So it actually serves two purposes. One is can help him increase revenue, and second, of course, he may escape from elephants coming and damaging the farm. Come, let's go meet Mr. Vijay Kumar, the owner of this farm, who really spent time to select nutmeg as a most suitable crop for this farm. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, sir. Fine, sir.
Mr. Vijay Kumar, why don't you give us a brief introduction about yourself and your farm, the crop composition,
sure.
all of that?
Okay, sir. So myself, Vijay Kumar. Actually, I'm working in the IT industry in Bangalore. But actually, this farm has been started from my father some 10 years back.
Okay.
So he asked me to get some saplings from Tamil Nadu, and we took some 4 to 5 saplings from Kallar, it is in Tamil Nadu, and we planted, and we found it has a good yield actually. After that, we bought some 100 saplings, and we did budding on that. So for budding, we have experts from Kerala.
Okay.
So they are taken the plants from 100 or 150 years old plant, and they will do the budding.
Yeah.
So after that, automatically the yield will increase. And this place, actually, this is located near Anagatti. The exact name is Mattathikadu. It's nearly some 7 kilometers from Anagatti.
Okay.
This climate is actually it's similar to Ooty climate. So whatever crop you keep, it will come. But still, what we feel is we need more expert advice
Sure.
to get more yield.
That's precisely what we're going to talk about today. If you noticed, Mr. Vijay Kumar mentioned about budding from a native tree, and he mentioned it was some 100 years old tree. Generally, people prefer to go with budding or grafting as against growing the plant from the seed itself. If you can imagine, after eating a mango fruit, if you try to grow another mango from the seed of that fruit, the sweetness of the fruit of the sapling may or may not be the same as a parent one. But on the other hand, if you actually do budding or grafting on sweet mango plant, there is a 99% chance of the sapling producing fruit likely to be as sweet and tasty as the mother plant. And that is why people choose to go with budding. And in this case, nutmeg budding from a 100 years old plant. And he chose to go with the native variety. So there are varieties, nutmeg, unlike the typical vegetable plants, haven't gone through too much of hybridization, but yes, it has gone through some reasonable amount of hybridization. Today, there are some hybrids where, say, you want to have 2 nuts from each fruit. Yes, there are some varieties. And if you want to have little thicker maize spice, yes, you have some varieties. So today you have those options. So depending on what your preferences are and which one can probably do better for the weather condition, for the soil conditions in your place, maybe you should do some study and choose the best for you. And in this case, in this farm, Mr. Vijay Kumar has chosen to go with the native varieties because he thought that is probably the best choice for him. Yes, there is some compromise when you go with native varieties. It is not going to have a great genetic capacity similar to the hybrids. But on the other hand, the positive is that it is going to tolerate more issues, maybe more pest, more natural weather issues and all that. This can withstand a bit more compared to the hybrids. As I'm speaking more about nutmeg these days, keeping revenue in mind, higher revenue in mind, I also get some questions from the viewers. What if a lot of people grow nutmeg and the prices fall like it happened to coconuts? My point there is it is very unlikely because nutmeg cannot be grown in every form. Coconuts may grow maybe in a hilly area, tropical, even in dry places you can see people grow coconut, but nutmeg cannot be grown everywhere. It needs to be grown in a moderate temperate areas, high temperature areas, it cannot grow. Therefore, unlike coconut, a lot of growth of nutmeg affecting the price is extremely unlikely to happen.
Sir, actually, I think you have seen our farm.
Yeah.
Just now we have taken a small tour actually.
Yeah.
So as a farmer, so I like to know, not only me, every farmer are interested to increase their yield only.
Yeah.
So that is the final point. I like to know one thing from you as an expert. So what are the ways, or what are the ways we can increase the yield? So is there is any other way for watering, or giving the fertilizer?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, I've actually spoken about this in many occasions, but for your interest and for the new viewers, maybe I'll explain this in detail one more time. So, you did mention to me that you have these rings around every tree,
Yeah, yeah.
both around coconut trees as well as around nutmeg, right? What you are basically doing is filling this ring,
Yeah, yeah.
and you wait for the water to subside a little,
Yeah, yeah.
again you fill it,
Correct.
right? You do the same thing for both coconut and nutmeg.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, there is a small difference between coconut and nutmeg. I've faced a lot of farmers ask me this question, especially from the Pollachi region, where some farmers do this ring concept
Okay.
for coconut, and they ask me, my coconuts are yielding well, maybe as not as great as somebody else, but I mean, the yield is not bad. So the answer to that, why do some coconuts still do reasonably well with ring and flood irrigation, but not the other plants? The answer is, the ring of the coconut trees is not where their active root zone is.
Oh.
Right? So the active root zone typically is in between two coconut trees, somewhere in the mid path.
Okay.
Right? From the ring, you fill water in the ring, and there is a water seepage from the ring towards the middle of these two plants, which is where the actual active root zone is.
Oh, okay.
Right? So this water seepage helps maintain moisture at the same time, because it is not flooded in the middle. There is also aeration.
Oh.
Right? So unknowingly, the right moisture and the air is somewhere in between.
Yes.
Which is why some farms, in spite of flood irrigation, coconut performs reasonably well. But look at this. Their active root zone is still right here.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't travel like coconut.
Yes.
Right? Which is why in nutmeg, when you do rings, you see the performance going down.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Because you have basically poured water into their nose.
Yeah, yeah. So then how it will breathe?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is enough water, enough moisture, in other words, but there is no aeration.
Oh, okay.
So you need to maintain the active root zone region with proper moisture and proper aeration. And only then the plants will be able to absorb nutrition and participate in photosynthesis and create the energy or sugar it needs.
Oh, got it, got it. Yeah. Sir, actually, in our fathers' period, so they used to use this chemical fertilizers. And in my period now, I am using this bioorganic fertilizer. And but still, what I felt is still the yield is not coming as I expected.
Okay.
So, what are the things I have to implement?
Okay. So I'll give you a few points based on what I have understood in the last few hours in this farm. One, you did mention to me that in your father's times, they used to fill this ring with water and urea.
Yeah, yeah.
And you changed from that to bio material. And at the same time, the benefit that you saw, what you told me, was the soil is not as hard as it used to be when your father applied urea. Now it is soft, porous, and maybe there is better root penetration. Right? Yes. And yet you don't see better output. That's your concern.
Yes, yeah.
Now, a small understanding I want you to have is that bio is not fertilizer. The word biofertilizer itself, in my opinion, is a misnomer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In bio, what you have is a concentration of microbes. So the concentration of microbes, you basically mix in water and then supply to the soil. And these microbes are supposed to multiply in the soil, leach the soil, eat the organic carbon that is in the soil, and as part of their leaching, they leach out the chemicals or minerals that are necessary for the plant.
Okay.
Right? Because the plants do need the 13 minerals for them to perform, for them to participate well in photosynthesis. But the question is, how much carbon do I have in my soil? How much organic carbon, which is a basic food for the microbes, do I have in my soil? So you should do basically a lab test to understand that.
Okay.
Right? It may be, my opinion, in this area, it should be somewhere between 0.5 and 1. Right? And so when you send out these microbes, the amount of microbes that survives or multiplies depends on the food that is in the soil. Right?
Yeah.
So one way to look at that is that you will have to basically improve the amount of food that is available in the soil.
Okay.
And how do you improve? By adding more humus, more compost, more biomass to the soil. The more biomass, there will be more composting, more carbon that will be retained in the topsoil, right, which becomes food to the microbes you send. In fact, in my opinion, if you are able to create a high carbon, high organic carbon environment by adding a lot of humus, because you have good source of humus, the waste from coconut,
Yeah.
right? So if you add more biomass, you are likely to add more organic carbon, and these, the moment there is enough food, which is organic carbon, microbes will automatically generate. In my personal opinion, you don't necessarily have to send those microbes through a tube. They will automatically generate if there is food. This is point number one. Point number two that I want you to understand is that we talked about genetic capacity of the plant. Each plant has got certain genetic capacity to which the 13 minerals that we discussed, you have to give them in a certain proportion. Only then the plants are going to participate in photosynthesis effectively and produce their best, right? So, my view is that you have to take a balanced approach between organic and inorganic, where you do the humus management, biomass management for the soil, so that the soil remains healthy and more organic carbon builds up, more microbes therefore comes to life. That cycle continues naturally. And when it comes to plant, feeding the plant itself, my view is that you have to calculate the minerals that the plant may need in minute milligrams and feed them on a daily basis or maybe on a weekly basis. To the extent the quantum that you are going to supply will be to the extent the plants can consume in a day or two. So there is nothing, there is no residue left in the soil. So you are taking care of the soil and the plant. So you are allowing the plant to reach their genetic capacity by feeding them the minerals they need, and you are also taking care of the soil by adding more biomass and humus so that their health is maintained. So I think this balanced approach might give you better results than taking one extreme approach of going full organic or full inorganic.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. So after observing our farm, so you given some inputs for us. My question is, by what means or how by using your technology we can increase our yield?
Okay. Just to give you a background,
Okay.
our technology's name is Grotron.
Okay.
And in fact, last year, in year 2023, Grotron was selected as one of the top 100 innovations of India.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh,
The reason it was selected is because if you look at farm automation as a subject, there are so many products available in the market.
okay.
But Grotron is the only technology, it is not just a product, it is a technology built based on the science of enhancing photosynthesis.
Okay.
So how does it do? It actually measures the soil moisture, soil temperature, ambient moisture, ambient temperature from the field, and maybe every 15-20 minutes, and it is stored in the cloud.
Okay.
At the same time, we also pull weather data. If you have a weather station, we pull from there. If not, we pull from weather.com or AccuWeather.com, and this data also gets stored in the cloud. And there is an artificial intelligence engine which uses these past data to predict if my soil moisture is now perfect, meaning the air-water balance is perfect, when is the moisture likely to dry up? Will be the first prediction using the AI engine.
Oh,
And if that prediction is, let's say, tomorrow morning by about 11 o'clock,
okay.
then it will do a secondary prediction to understand if I don't want the soil to dry up at 11, when and how long should I do an irrigation so that it doesn't dry up at 11.
Oh,
So the system may predict, let's say, tomorrow morning by 7 for 30 minutes. Then what will happen is the valve that is controlling this region will automatically open at 7 in the morning. The pump will turn on at 7 in the morning and it will irrigate for 30 minutes.
okay.
And during that irrigation, if there is any nutrition to be supplied, whether it is organic or inorganic, that will also be supplied.
Oh, okay.
Fulfilling, therefore, the theory of maintaining the air-water balance and giving the right nutrition to the plant. Therefore, you are actually increasing the chance for the plant to participate in photosynthesis and do its best.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And not just that, all that I now said is about open farming. If you go to a polyhouse, Grotron can actually do climate management. It can manage certain temperatures, certain humidity. And if you go for indoor farming, completely indoor farming, it can do light management. Basically, it can simulate light from day to night. And it can also automatically manage the CO2, the level of CO2. And it can even do the real-time balancing of EC and pH of the water you supply.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So all of this is meant to increase the efficiency of photosynthesis.
Oh,
That's the base of the technology.
okay. Really, it's a great innovation, sir. Because what I felt is the farmers should know this, because this kind of awareness, it will help them to get more yield from their crop.
Exactly.
Sir, at present, my mother only doing all those activities like turning the valves and all those things. And what I understood is by using our innovation thing, it will control everything automatically. It will control everything, right?
Correct. You don't have to do anything manually. Based on the real-time situation, the system will decide what to do, and then do things autonomously. So you can just relax, look at the notification, and if you have to fine tune something, do it. Otherwise, just don't worry about your farm.
Okay. So everything is automated.
Everything is made autonomous.
Autonomous.
Yeah. We've been talking more about increasing productivity, increasing revenue in the recent past. We are also going to go even more deeper into different crops and different regions, are going to really get more scientific. And I hope today's video about nutmeg and selection of the crop and how to increase productivity was helpful to you. If so, please do forward to your friends who may be able to get some benefit out of this. And as we are going to talk more scientific subjects in the coming days, do subscribe to our channel if you would like to get notified the moment the video is published. Please do. And until we see you with another useful video, see you. Bye-bye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your suggestion. Thanks a
My
lot.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.